Hey guys, what's up? It's Manga here. I'm back for another video. Now, in today's video, we're going to be doing a sort of Dragon Ball Super manga chapter review. Yeah, we're going to be reviewing chapter 69. Before we get into... I've just realized the name of the chapter 69. But before we get into it, please do make sure you do go down below and drop me a like. Also subscribe with post notifications on, as it would really help me. So let's get into this chapter. So chapter 69, I will be reviewing the Dragon Ball Super manga. Hopefully from now on I'm going to try and do it monthly as the manga releases. We're going to start from here and go from so on. I just kind of want to review the manga because I think it will be quite a lot of fun. I used to review Black Clover. I don't know if you guys have watched that anime. You may have if you were watching it on my channel before. Yeah, I used to review that weekly actually. So yeah, I've decided to, you know what, let's do this monthly. I'm sure it will be quite a bit of fun. So yeah, I'll give my thoughts on the chapter and we'll go through the chapter. And it will hopefully just be a lot of fun. So chapter 69 is called The Evolution of Planet Cereal. So we're going to be learning more about Planet Cereal and Granola and his backstory and all that good stuff. We're going to be hopefully learning more about the Cerealians. So yeah, let's get into it. So we see Granola, who arrives back from, his mission on this planet. And it seems to me that our good friend Granola has basically met with these people who are now living on the planet. Because there's this alien sort of thing, and he approaches Granola, and Granola says he's going to be taking some time for himself, and this alien basically says welcome back, when do you expect to depart again? And we basically see Planet Cereal has now been taken over by this new race, and they kind of look like these fish people. I don't really know what to call them. They kind of look like fish people, I guess. I mean, they're definitely interesting. I was not expecting this, to be honest. I thought that we would be going down a different route with this. I thought like Granola's planet was just abandoned, but apparently not. So we see Granola, who goes to this shop kind of place, and he's just buying things, and we get a bit more backstory about Granola. And we find out that Granola is living with this old guy, this strange old man, and we find out that Granola, he lives on the mountains, and in the mountains, Granola lives with this old man who's a Namekian, kind of similar to Kami, so I'll just put a render of Kami here. So, yeah, he's kind of similar to Kami, and he's living with him, and we find out that the Sugarians, wow, oh my god, I have no idea how I'm gonna pronounce that name. The Sugararians, there we go, we'll call them the Sugararians. So they lost their own planet, right, we don't know how, so they were roaming through space, and they just happened to stumble upon this planet, and what seems to be the main antagonist of this arc, the Heater clan, they sold it to the Sugarians, or whatever they're meant to be called. And yeah, they sold it to them, and they now live there. And Granola could live with them, but he's decided not to. He's decided to live on this mountain with this calmy-looking dude. And the main reason for that is because he wants to remember the destruction that Frieza has caused, and a reminder of what the Saiyans did. And we see this nice flashback of the Saiyans ravaging through his planet, destroying everything. So we now cut away from Granola and our Namekian friend here, and we go to Beerus, who looks at Vegeta, and he asks Vegeta, how many planets have you destroyed? And Vegeta says, hard to say, fighting was the only way of life for my people. However, it wasn't until Frieza's clan came along and began using us that the destruction and invasions became business as usual. So Beerus then begins to, say that Vegeta's placing all the blame on Frieza, which Vegeta of course denies, and says that it was his father's pursuit of power which caused the countless deaths. Now, Beerus then goes on to say that the Saiyans, it was their destiny to be wiped out, and Vegeta says, I'd say so. Of course, Beerus, he says that Vegeta is ridiculous, and Vegeta's kind of just confused. He's like, what do you mean? And Vegeta does question Beerus about the technique Beerus was meant to show him. Now, I want to talk about this technique. I have seen in the Dragon Ball community, a lot of people were expecting Vegeta to just bust out a new God of Destruction mode, catch up to MUI Goku, get some new purple head form or some new white head form, and I was skeptical. It was hard to say what was going to happen with Beerus might be teaching Vegeta, because obviously Beerus is quite a powerful opponent, and it was hard to say what I was thinking. Maybe Vegeta might get offered the God of Destruction candidate by the end of all this all of this, this whole teaching process. But it seems we're going to be going down more of a different route. We see Vegeta, who asks Beerus, what has the Saiyans got to do with the destruction power Beerus is about to teach him? And Beerus says, plenty. And Beerus essentially then just blows up the planet right next to him, that poor planet. And we see Whis kind of just scold Beerus. And then after that, Beerus kind of just slams Vegeta to the ground. And Vegeta asks, what's the meaning of this? And we see Beerus kind of call out Vegeta. We see Beerus basically say to Vegeta that he's carrying the weight of all of the Saiyans, because Vegeta is the only last Saiyan left. Goku is a Saiyan by blood, but in terms of the Saiyans who conquered, destroyed, all of that good stuff, yeah, Vegeta's the only one who's still kicking around. All the other Saiyans, they're all dead. Goku lost all his memories of the Saiyans, and even if he hadn't lost his memories, it's not like Goku's going to be remembering, Bardock and Gine that well. He probably wouldn't have all the memories of the Saiyans destroying planets and all of that, since he was such a young child. He was only like 3. So we didn't see Beerus do a massive reveal. Actually ends up revealing that he was the one who ordered Frieza to destroy the planet of Vegeta. And we see Vegeta get pretty pissed off. He goes to Blue Evolution, and we see Vegeta versus Beerus, round 2. We had a round 1 when Vegeta went to fight Beerus before the Tournament of Power, and now we're getting a new one with Vegeta and all his new Yard-Wrap power-up and his Super Saiyan Blue form. So we see Vegeta and Beerus fight, and Beerus shows us that he's still leagues and leagues ahead of Vegeta. Vegeta doesn't stand a chance against Beerus. He tries to fire some Ki Blasts with Beerus, but ultimately Beerus is far stronger than Vegeta. He easily steps on Vegeta, and we see Beerus basically just call out Vegeta for being trapped by his past. Now, this is so interesting to me because we see Beerus tell Vegeta that destruction is the only thing that Beerus ever thinks of. And we see, Goku talk about Beerus' signature move, the Hakai. And we see Beerus say that, his mind's always on destruction and there's no limit to his power. And he explains that before creation comes destruction. Now, this is really interesting because this is massive character development for Vegeta. Because in the previous arc, Vegeta was all about, clinging to his past. And we saw how Vegeta was trying to right the wrongs of the things he had done when he was still a bloodthirsty killer. If you guys would remember, Vegeta did save that Namekian boy from Moro, and Vegeta was... We even got that speech from Piccolo, where Piccolo basically said that Vegeta's trying to atone for all his past mistakes. However, too much of anything is never going to be good, and we see Beerus called Vegeta out for this. Yes, it's good that Vegeta is righting the wrongs from his past, but that doesn't mean he needs to shoulder the entire, Saiyan race, all their mistakes on him. And I don't know, some of the things Beerus says here, I do understand what he's saying. If Vegeta wants to catch up to Goku, he's explaining that Vegeta needs to let go of all these past mistakes that are still hanging on him. But at the same time, some of the things Beerus says is a bit stupid, if you ask me, because Beerus telling Vegeta, I killed the Saiyans. What we need to ask here is, would Beerus telling Vegeta that he destroyed planet Vegeta, would it get the point across that, Vegeta, he needs to focus more on himself? And he needs to not be so trapped by his past. That's what I think Vegeta needs. Because Vegeta is constantly held down by his past. We see against Moro, he thinks about all the horrible things he's done. He wants to right all the wrongs. He tells Moro he's probably going to go to hell when he dies, but they'll meet each other in hell. And that is what makes Vegeta such an interesting character. Even after all of Vegeta's developments, he still hangs on to that past. All of the horrible things he did, because we have to remember, Vegeta didn't really redeem himself until the Buu saga. Yes, he had his redeeming qualities in the Cell and Android saga, with Trunks. But at the end of the day, the main moment where Vegeta would, I guess you could consider, becomes a good guy is when he blows himself up against Majin Buu. That whole, after that, everything where he says, even for you, Kakarot. That whole moment is one of the best moments, in my opinion, in the entirety of Dragon Ball, this series, because it's what signifies the change for Vegeta. This was really good back then, but now it's become this sort of chain for Vegeta, holding him down, as he always thinks about all the horrible things he's done in his past. And I think that that's what Beerus is trying to tell Vegeta, that if Vegeta wants to, get stronger, he needs to recreate himself and start back from scratch and not feel so sorry for himself and not put all the blame on Frieza. There we go, that's what I think Vegeta's whole thing is going on right now. I like the way they're taking Vegeta's character. It's definitely interesting what they're doing with him now. It's definitely creative, and I must say that this entire arc with Granola is really good. I think that the Granola arc probably will be one of the faces of Dragon Ball Super. If they do this correctly, I believe the Granola arc could be one of the best arcs for Dragon Ball Super. Like, if you were to look at an arc of Dragon Ball Super to define Super, I think that the Granola arc will hopefully be one of the defining factors, because we've got really interesting things going on here. Direct link to the Moro arc, something that hasn't happened since the Namek saga, when we went straight from Namek to Cell every single other time. We've really just had a time skip, and then we've left. But here we're linking Moro and Granola back together, because Moro and Granola is obviously, they captured 7-3, and that's what's moving this arc. And I love this three-way battle we've got going on. We've got Vegeta and Goku, the Hita clan, who have Moro, who have 7-3, who obviously has Beerus's DNA, and he has Moro's DNA, and they're trying to extract it from him. And I'm sure 7-3 has Vegeta's stuff too, because Moro did copy Vegeta's abilities, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did have that. So yeah, we've got the Hita clan, and finally, last but not least, we've got Granola, who we'll be looking at in just a second. So we then see the Hita clan, which I just mentioned, and we see Sagambo, who obviously goes to Zuno's planet and threatens him, and they then start looking at the Galactic Patrol. We get a look at Beerus, and we sort of get this Hita clan learning about what happened in the Moro arc. They learn how Frieza was revived with the Dragon Balls, and they learn about the Dragon Balls. They learn about how Moro freed all of the Galactic Patrol prisoners, and how Moro obviously regained his magic. And we already know all this, but they learn Dragon Balls are made by the Namekians. And we just look at this kind of nice, I guess you could say, exposition with the Hita clan kind of just figuring things out. They start talking about this Namekian called Manito, and Manito is the old Namekian who looks kind of similar to Kami, who is living on planet Cereal with Granola. He really just looks like Kami, which is so interesting, because now Kami being on the planet makes sense. Before, we were kind of just there like, what was Kami doing, or the nameless Namekian, sorry, what was he doing on the planet? Why was he there? Why was my man just chilling? But as we have now gotten into this arc, we get something so interesting where we actually learn what he's doing on this planet, what all the Namekians are doing. So we see Granola have this conversation with the Namekian. He gives us a bit of exposition that the Sagarians do treat us kindly. He talks to Granola about how he's taking some time off, and he tells him about, Frieza, and how Frieza's been revived, and he tells him not to mess with Frieza because Frieza's far stronger than him. And we see this Dragon Ball, and this opens up the possibility for so many things. This is like a massive door being slammed right open, because now that we've found out that there's Dragon Balls on other planets and other Namekians around, yeah, we could have Namekians on any planet. I mean, you could find Namekians on any planet. Considering how scattered out the Namekians are, this is incredible. So we get this sort of lesson from Mori, and this is really well done. So we get this lesson from Mori, and he explains that a set of Dragon Balls and vary in size and number depending on who created them. On our planet, each village elder, of course, holds one of these Dragon Balls. And we do find out other planets have Dragon Balls, hence why Earth has their Dragon Balls, which are from Kami now Dende, who makes them. And we find out that other planets are able to have Namekians that may create Dragon Balls. And for me, this is just amazing. This is incredible, because I never saw this coming. So we then find out that, you see, we Namekians, we moved to this universe from another realm altogether. And I've heard that some settled in places far from planet Namek. Now, we originally thought that the Namekians were all just from planet Namek. Why would you think any different, The green people, they're on planet Namek. One happened to go off into space to Earth. But now it makes so much more sense. The Namekians are scattered all across the universe, which means there are probably Dragon Balls on multiple other planets, which just opens up the possibilities for endless amount of things, if you ask me. And we do see Mori explain that he has no idea what has happened to these Namekians, and they were probably wiped out. Of course, we know they weren't wiped out because there's one living with Granola, and find out that this Namekian is the one who made the Dragon Balls, which of course he did. Who else is going to make them? And he explains that once he dies, the Dragon Balls will all finish too. And we see him convince Granola not to try and find the Dragon Ball, since there's no way he's gonna find a Dragon Ball. And we see Granola holding his Dragon Ball, and we see him watching TV with these Cigarian people, and they end up finding a Dragon Ball. Yes. Now, I thought that you had to have 7 Dragon Balls to summon Shenron, you know. But on this planet, apparently you only need 2, which is kind of plot convenient. And we see Granola go off. He steals the Dragon Ball, looking for Granola, who's stolen both Dragon Balls. And we see Granola summon a new Shenron. This is incredible for me. I would never have expected a new... Well, obviously, this isn't a new Shenron. This is a new Eternal Dragon, who hopefully we'll get a name for, but he looks really cool. He has this kind of golden look to him, I assume. He's probably not green. And we see him say, state whatever your wish is. And now that we have this Eternal Dragon, that begs the question, how strong is this Eternal Dragon? He can only grant 1 wish, which I assume means he's probably weaker than Porunga, but that still doesn't confirm it. He could be even stronger than Porunga. He could be weaker than Shenron, stronger than Shenron. Hopefully we'll get some reveal of some sorts as to who this Eternal Dragon actually is, and what in terms of power he has, like his strengths and all that, because I would love to see what exactly this Eternal Dragon's abilities are. Like, because we know that Shenron, he's been known to not be able to grant certain wishes. For example, the Super Saiyan God. I have a what if about that. Shenron said he couldn't bring the Super Saiyan God right now because that was beyond his abilities. So we then see Granola make his wish to turn me into the greatest warrior in the universe, fulfilling the previous prediction of the Oracle Fish in the last chapter. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see this coming. I thought that the greatest warrior in the universe would be something to do with Beerus. I thought maybe Granola might get his hands on 7-3 and use Beerus's angelic abilities, but it seems that Granola is going to be a contender with the Hita clan, because if the Hita clan are able to make use of Beerus's angelic abilities, and we've got the greatest warrior in the universe, which is of course Granola, and then we've got Goku and Vegeta, who are both extremely powerful, then yeah, this is looking to be pretty crazy. And if you ask me, with this arc, as we have this 3-way battle, I don't see Granola as a villain right now. He could become a villain, but you know, it's still up in the air right now. I think Granola might take more of a neutral stance, where he just doesn't like Goku. He doesn't like Goku or Vegeta, and he doesn't like Frieza. He just hates them both, but he's not exactly this evil, I want to rule the universe type character. More just, he's trying to get his revenge. He doesn't like Goku or Vegeta. End of story. I think this is really interesting for a Dragon Ball villain. It feels like a breath of fresh air, because the Moro arc, I'm not going to lie, it kind of felt like a massive copy and paste of the entire franchise. I mean, we had Moro come to Namek, Frieza goes to Namek, he wishes for his magic to return and his youth, Demon King Piccolo did that. There's so many things you can pick up on in the Moro arc, which are clearly just kind of copy and pasted from the original Dragon Ball Z story, and even some parts of Super. Whether or not that's a good thing, that's up to you to decide, because obviously it can be interpreted in many ways. But yeah, that's this chapter. Definitely an interesting one. It's a definite good start to the Granola arc. I'm hoping this will be a pretty long arc, because there's a lot of interesting things to expand on. So yeah, I hope you all did enjoy this video. A bit longer than I had hoped, but oh well, I wanted to get the things I wanted to say out. Yeah, if you did enjoy, please make sure you do go down below and leave me a like. Also subscribe with post notifications on if you are new here. But yeah, with all that said, I will see you all in the next video. Laters!